Are they superheroes or a super problem?
Yeah, it's good. It absorbs most of the impact on it. As long as you keep working his face.
See, he did use spray, but only when things were out of control.
The people in Seattle know what this is. They've come to understand and respect what we do, and they're not really startled or offended by it.
Sir, we're the Seattle Superheroes. We can help you.
You're about to like time it.
That's what I want.
The Emerald City Heroes organization, we have Skyman and Justin Service on my 6. We are out here giving homeless outreach supplies to the homeless tonight and doing a quick patrol around downtown Seattle. Y'all take care, stay safe, we'll see you in the streets.
It's been a while since we initially set our sights on interviewing Red Ranger. With Seattle being one of the only cities with an active vigilante group, this opportunity would be too great to pass up.
For those who aren't in the camp of obsessed Red Ranger followers, you may be wondering, who is Red Ranger?
But before delving into all of that, we first had to hit the streets. Our first stop was Capitol Hill, a hotspot for nightlife, the arts, and activism, as well as being only a few steps away from downtown. We wanted to see what the public of Seattle had to say about its superhero movement. Hi, I'm Aaron. What's your name?
I'm Quan, man, or aka Zeri.
Okay, so I'm here with
Walden.
All right, I'm here with Dream. What's up?
And Risa.
Awesome. Nice to meet you guys, and thank you for stopping by for the interview. All right, let's start off. Are you guys familiar with real-life superheroes or vigilantes that are active in the Seattle area?
Yeah. First emergency responders. Those are some superheroes.
I feel like I've read about them before, but I couldn't tell you a name.
Tell me what you know. What have you read?
I know that there used to be like this one guy who did a lot of stuff and then he got into like some legal trouble and was off the streets.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times on Instagram and stuff, you know. I think I may have seen one or two of them riding around downtown, but I've heard of them, yeah.
Do the names like Phoenix Jones and Red Ranger or like the Rain City superhero movement, things like that, do those ring a bell?
Oh yeah, Red Ranger definitely. I've seen that guy specifically a few times around the city. It's definitely one I've heard of.
Dude, Phoenix Jones? Dude, I have a poster of him. I love that guy. Bring him out. Where's he at?
Calling you. Where is he at? He wants to have a meeting with you.
How do you feel about the idea of there being superheroes in Seattle?
I think that superheroes in Seattle respond to an issue of injustice from our current systems of justice as we call them. But I think that in order for there to be actual superheroes, we need to critically reimagine how we think about justice in this city.
Do you believe that like the presence of these individuals or organizations, do you think they have an influence on crime rates or just activity in like the area?
Crime rates, I don't know, because I mean, it's still Seattle. There's always going to be somebody doing something stupid. But as far as like people feeling safe, I could definitely say that that's happening. I mean, I have a lot of lady friends that once I told them about that, they feel a little bit like they can walk around outside at night, you know?
It does have some. I will also like to say it's probably also a meme. Not gonna lie. But I think it's the idea and knowing that there's people around the community that actively put in effort to keep us safe, right? Besides like law enforcement.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's kind of like the physics principle that like when something is being watched, it behaves differently. So, I mean, just knowing that there's people out there who are like following crime, but they want to be present and like do good in the world, like that's got to do some kind of positive effect. I can't determine like what length it actually goes, and I don't want to get into all that, but there's got to be some positive ripple in karma for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people doing quiet, good work behind the scenes, helping people get fed, helping people get housed. And I think those people are the kinds of superheroes that we don't realize we already have.
Yeah, is there any other last things you have to say about like these heroes or like the state of crime in Seattle?
Keep doing it, honestly. I mean, I'm glad to see it. I think it's cool. Some people may think it's corny or whatever, but I like it. I think it's an actual, like a beneficial thing, especially in Seattle. It's kind of crazy out here sometimes, you know?
Yeah. How are you guys faring off against Saitama. You know what I'm saying? The real man himself. I think Seattle should have more superheroes. Phoenix Jones, if you're out there, pull up to Cal Anderson. For real.
Yeah, kind of like what Dream was saying about, like, you know, our grocery people, our first line of responders, even you guys, like, being a platform for our community, like, that's heroic. And I think if we can embody all that in, like, everything we do, then Seattle's full of superheroes. If you really open your eyes, you can really see a lot.
For sure.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. That's the interview.
Thanks, guys.
Perfect.
I'm not saying it is risky, but like, I want to try to show you what's involvement. Every time I put anything out, I just get reported.
Here's a bit of background before we go any further.
Get 5 seconds.
In the early 2010s, Seattle was in the media's eye for the appearance of vigilante entities and organizations calling themselves real-life superheroes. One individual garnered a lot of the press's attention and acted as the front man to the entire movement, that being Phoenix Jones, leader of RCSM, or the Rain City Superhero Movement. He was active for many years, but after a series of controversies and an eventual arrest in 2020, coverage on these heroes virtually stopped, and even had the public of Seattle see them as jokes and pretenders. Yet, there is still a lone group hell-bent on continuing their patrols around the streets of Seattle, helping the unhoused, breaking up altercations, assisting authorities, and making sure the public gets around the city at night safely. This organization goes by the moniker ECHO, which stands for the Emerald City Heroes Organization. And tonight, we get to patrol the streets with none other than their leader, Red Ranger, as well as his colleague, Justin Service, and 2 new superheroes hoping to join their ranks.
Going. Hey, I'm Gavin Mulfelder.
And I'm Oni.
And tonight we're out in Old Town Seattle, aka Pioneer Square, with Red Ranger and Justin Service and a few other new superheroes actually who are joining the group. And tonight we're going to be interviewing them as well as documenting them, figuring out what it's actually like to be a superhero here in Seattle. Let's go.
If you guys got a cut there and ask me again.
The blooper's great. No, that's
cool.
great.
Some supplies to house his neighbors, do safety checks, things like that. You know, we're always on the lookout for crime, but it's not a crime patrol. We're not actually going like on our crime patrols, we go in like crime heavy areas and sort of scout out for stuff like that. We're not directly looking for that tonight, but that being said, we could find it. So in the event of a danger,
It may be a surprise to you that tonight's patrol is less about fighting crime and more about community engagement. Toting a red wagon, Echo has mapped out a route through some of the most densely populated homeless areas in Pioneer Square, planning to distribute homemade care packages containing a variety of hygiene products and food to the less fortunate.
Packs, about 40 of them. They've got toilet paper, waters, snacks, sandwiches. I was able to get my food handler's card and make some sandwiches for folks tonight. So there's hygiene supplies, all sorts of good stuff for them, socks.
To be completely honest, my team and I weren't really expecting this level of community engagement. Given the legacy of past superheroes, especially the actions of Phoenix Jones, we assumed Echo would follow in a similar path, patrolling the streets for primarily shady characters and active crimes in progress. But what we witnessed was something entirely different. In addition to distributing these care packages and keeping watch, they checked up on unhoused individuals' physical well-being and offered genuine support. Red Ranger, being a registered nurse, was more than willing to provide basic medical services to people in crisis. What struck us most was the raw authenticity of it all, something that couldn't be fully captured through their various Instagram stories or TikToks, where we originally found them. They genuinely cared, and it showed in every interaction, whether it was with passerbyers, club-goers stumbling out of nightclubs, unhoused individuals, or even us as reporters. As their care packages dwindled and the night wound down, I finally had the chance to ask them the question that had been on my mind all night. Why are you really out here?
Red Ranger, Justin Service, what makes you guys qualified to be superheroes?
what makes me qualified to be a superhero? Really nothing extra special. Really what I try to do is just kind of be someone who supports my community, and as long as you have the willingness and the the gumption behind yourself to do it, for lack of a better term. Anybody who's out here, just putting in time and whatever they can do to help their community has just as right to call themselves a hero as I do. So I think at the end of the day, the thing that makes me a superhero is the same thing that would make anybody a hero, which is conviction.
Just the willingness to help out, I suppose. Nothing really qualifies a person to do this. It's just a matter of doing it, really. Getting out there, helping your community however you feel you can.
What made you get into this line of work?
I guess you're kind of asking about my origin story. For me, after being a young man living in Seattle, I was already working in the emergency room, and also just kind of seeing all these people who needed help, were in pain, victims of violence, gun violence, substance abuse, homelessness, and then just seeing that in the street around me, everywhere you go in this city. Eventually it got to the point where I resolved myself that, if I could do anything, thank you so much. You guys stay safe tonight. Sorry about that. Anyway, I just sort of resolved myself to, as long as I could do anything that I could to prevent that kind of stuff from happening, I would. So I started just putting on, of all things, a red Power Ranger suit and going out and handing out food and water to my local homeless community. And that's where the name Red Ranger came, because eventually people saw me doing it and the name stuck. And after that, it was just finding out more that I could do, training for that, and acting on it. And that kind of led us to where we are today.
What got me into this was essentially I've been on the street myself. I've lived homeless, and I wanted to help people who were experiencing that because I was able to get into some resources and get myself help and everything, so I want to help others do the same.
How would you describe the superhero movement here in Seattle to the uninformed?
A colorful group of do-gooders that watch out for crime and help those that need helping. That's kind of the real short Cliff's Notes version. Really, we're just concerned citizens at the end of the day. We find that we have ability and skill sets that allow us to go out and help our community, and we use them for that in our off time. Aside from that, we have colorful outfits that are armored up so that we are prepared for danger or facing danger or interfering with violence and doing our best to rectify all that. But like I said, when you boil it all down, we're just regular people who want to do what we can to help.
We're by far the first guys out here. There's been a movement for over 20 years. It's been going on. There's lots of guys that do this. Yeah, what Red said, we're just kind of costumed do-gooders trying to help our community in a fun and inspiring way.
What keeps you out on the street helping people?
The amount of people that need help. The fact that the work never stops. In a perfect world, and maybe in a world where the local authorities and powers that be sort of set up our community that works for everybody, and that there aren't people out here who are either being victimized by violence or the victims of substance abuse or homelessness. In a world where those problems are eliminated, we probably won't be doing this anymore. But the thing that keeps me doing this is continuing to see people who need help. So, like I said, I resolved myself a long time ago to do what I can to help these people and anybody else I find in any way that I can. So as long as there's people that need help, I'm going to keep being out here helping.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I see everybody in need out here every day, and I want to do what little I can to help what little corner I can of this world, and hopefully inspire others to do the same and, reach out to their community more.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
It was eye-opening to be out on patrol with Red Ranger and Justin Service and see them engaging with the community, as well as hearing why they're out here in the first place. Sadly, our time with them that night was short. We still had so many questions, but luckily for us, fate stepped in and they called us up for another patrol, this time for something way bigger.
It had been a month since our last meeting with Echo, when Red Ranger messaged us and debriefed a large project he and the rest of Echo were planning. Immediately, our team jumped at the opportunity to learn more about these superheroes. So we readied our cameras, our microphones, and questions in preparation for another meeting with Red Ranger. Red Ranger, can you explain to us what we're doing out here tonight?
So we're happy to be out here on our Hope outreach mission. So that's one of the bigger outreach missions we try to do every year. The aim of that is to help as many of our unhoused neighbors in the city as possible, delivering food, water, socks, care packages, hygiene supplies, medical supplies, as well as doing safety checks and otherwise keeping our eye out for danger while we do that. Not only is this a great way for us to engage with the members of our community, especially those in the most need in our community, it also gives us a great way, it's like a vehicle for us to do a safety patrol as well, keep our eyes out for danger at the same time. So it's a multifaceted mission, but we're happy to be out here to do it.
As Red Ranger described, tonight marked their annual Hope Mission, which stands for the Homeless Outreach Protection Effort. And much like our last outing, the main focus remained on the unhoused population in South Downtown. However, this time, we weren't alone as just Ground Zero Radio. We were joined by local independent journalists, including Photo G Steve and Pac Northwest Media. Over the course of the night, we had the opportunity to interview each member of Echo out on patrol, including the newer superheroes who were still being onboarded during our last outing with them. Justin Service, can you talk to us about the origins of the Hope Project?
Yeah, so this is a project that's been going on for at least 20 years now. It was started by some of the OG superheroes, Razorhawk and Old Superhero, and it's just about gathering as much supplies as possible and helping as many people in your community as you can, and encouraging others to do the same.
Black Rose, what brings you out here tonight?
I have kind of always wanted to be a part of the community and helping people around us. I've helped a lot of people since I was very small, and that's just kind of where my passion is, just giving what other people don't have.
And Miss Grievous, what brings you out here tonight?
I'm out here tonight because I just want the people who don't feel seen to feel seen, those that don't have a voice to have somebody to speak up for them and to give them what they need and to bring hope to some of the hopeless.
How do you feel about the community being out here and reacting so positively to this project?
Love it. You know, the more engagement we can get, the better. We hope to get even more in the future. So we love it when we have so much support for missions like this. We love it when we have so many people who are on board with our mission. And like I just said, not to repeat myself too much, but we couldn't be happier with the amount of support. Stay safe tonight. Sorry. We couldn't be happier with the support that we get, and like I said, we hope we get more in the future. Just can't get enough.
And what brings you out here tonight?
I'm here tonight because I love to be out here and I want to help, and seeing people happy and thankful for getting, blanket, socks, all that, that's huge.
And then what does the Hope Project mean to you?
Hope to me means that we can branch out to as many people in the community to get us to provide for people that don't have things like home or food or anything like that. So I think it's really important that we get everybody around us to come together as a community.
And what does the Hope Project mean to you?
Just spreading hope, kindness. I think it's like a domino effect. People see us out here and they want to help, they want to get involved. Yeah, just bringing a little something to those who don't have as much as we do. So.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
It was honestly a pleasure shadowing Echo and covering them for this mini doc. The Seattle superhero movement had been something I really wanted to dive into for so long, and hearing their stories and actually walking around downtown and patrolling the streets with them was full of surprises. I'm not saying it lightly when I tell you I was super impressed by their genuine kindness to everyone they interacted with. Though this was produced with one shoddy Sony camera, limited experience in Premiere, and a very small crew, I sincerely hope you at home or wherever you may be can still feel the heart these people put into their outreach. Costumes and hero identities aside, the members of Echo really care, and they're out making a difference. Though the 2010 golden years of news channels like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and even BBC covering them may be over, we're here letting you know that Seattle's superhero movement isn't just still around, it's thriving. And we'll be here covering every step of the way. This has been Gavin with Ground Zero Radio and Seattle Unplugged. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as Red Ranger would say,
we'll see you in the streets.
Perfect.
That's it.